All right, welcome to Games of Lore. Today we're going to do another Age of Hypemar, where I just kind of talk about what gets me hyped for Age of Sigmar. The amazing new model of the Mouth of Gork has just dropped, and it is so cool. I read the story and seeing and hearing about, reading about these vulture wyvern things was rather interesting to me. The idea of it was interesting because so far we've seen in Age of Sigmar, the big brutish wyverns, and I was kind of intrigued as to what the morkish like wyverns and things would look like. And these vultures are perfect. Intelligent scavengers, still large beasts, but more lithe. I expect them to be probably faster, probably a little bit weaker combat wise than their uh, Maw Crusher counterparts, but just the idea of them, the idea that these things are so totally different. I'm really enjoying the Cruel Boys. I can't wait for their rules to fully drop in their battle tome. Same thing for Stormcast Eternals. They also kind of teased that there's going to be some more Stormcast models, perhaps at least some Stormcast monsters. That will be a lot of fun. I really hope for some almost like mainline Stormcast monsters. Like, I don't know, like seeing the new Stormcast, the the new like super heavy armored ones. I was really hoping that they would be larger, that they'd be like this new breed of giant Stormcast, and instead it's just a bigger armor with tiny little hands, like just the tiniest hands compared to their armor. But I'm really hoping for maybe some mainstay monsters. Like I would still love some giant Stormcast. I think that would be super fun. Not necessarily like mega gargants, but you know, larger than a mega boss. Like a mega boss size Stormcast that's literally just this epic champion, either a single model or even a hero, but just this big juggernaut of just power hitting and smashitude. Like, that would be so cool for Stormcast. Um, also, let's all talk about Grungni. That guy, the story in the back of, I can't even remember. I bought 3 white dwarves all at once. I think it's in the back of the most recent one, though. The story about Grungni kind of traveling through the beginnings and middling parts of the Age of Chaos, reminiscing as he's creating this dwarven spark of sorts, which seems to be Grombrindle. Like, the idea of that is super cool. I really hope that they don't put the factions together. What I'd really want to see is a dwarf faction that can take either Caradron Overlords or Fire Slayers, or maybe both, in the way that the Cities of Sigmar does. I really think that would be thematically more the way that I think it would go, especially with, like, if we do get a new dwarf army that's like super Grungni. We both know that the Fire Slayers are all for Grimner and are 100% down that road, and then the Caradron Overlords are basically just, we don't care about the gods. Like, they abandon us, we're not giving a crap about them. So I'm really hoping that it's not a full fusion like the Orruk warclans are. I like that the Orruk warclans are together, specifically because of the way that works. Like, the biggest, meanest boss, the best boss, whoever's doing the best work, he's in charge. Doesn't matter what he is. Like, I could almost see just them being able to take any destruction faction of, like, hey, with Gordrak's your general, do whatever the crap you want. I think thematically that would be fun. Not necessarily rules-wise functional, but thematically entertaining. And that's actually something that we want to do on the channel at a later date, is do a fight where it's Gordrak's Wall of just, ogres, mega gargants, goblins, orcs, just everybody, just going up against a single fortress. Probably not using the rules for Celsius. It seems kind of weird to do that when that's basically the gist, but I'd kind of want to do basically the defenders are going to have a little bit more points to start with, but that's it. Like they'll have 3,000 points, and then they can refill that as needed, basically rolling wounds and stuff. But for the most part, they'll be whittled down, and it's basic. I want to see like how many games, so it'll probably be like warclans, Maw tribes, goblins, all separate, and then just one mega wall with Gordrak as the leader, and basically just throwing the full might and fury of Gordrak. And with that, I'll probably do custom rules of the big wall, just incorporating like basically everything becomes a big wall unit. It'll probably be a little finicky, but I don't plan on playing super competitive lists, so hopefully it's okay, or at the very least entertaining. Otherwise, in news, we have the starter sets coming out, which are, I don't know, I like the ideas of the starting sets because that's what they are, is they're a starting set, but I don't know, the miser in me comes out so much when these things happen. Like, I almost wish there was even not just to start collecting, but like, especially for little things like goblins. I wish they had a box that was like, hey, if you really want 100 goblins, buy this 100 goblin box for like a goblin box off. Like, I don't know. It's mostly just the miser in me, not the reasonable player, or, you know, seeing, because Games Workshop is a company and they can earn money on their products, but I don't know, just getting all of those in a single big leap at a much cheaper price, it just sings to my soul. Otherwise, as far as progress goes, I have finished all but a few of the Cruel Boys. You saw some of them on the channel. Here is the Killaboss and all of his painted glory. Let's see if I get off the screen, if it's going to focus on him. But yeah, basically just kind of going with very drab color schemes, and then the red for which is just my warclans color, is my Wa is red, and you know, then there's the white of unpainted brush, because I haven't decided. Like, I know the Cruel Boys are specifically from a swamp, and that's basically the brush, but I don't think it'd be difficult to make that like kind of a more wasteland base. So maybe I'll do kind of like a sandy grainy color, or I may just go with the murky, grubby, you know, the ugly killers of a swamp. The Stormcast, I've built the the last model for my thing, and then I'm gonna get just a few more Cities of Sigmar units. Will be easier for me to get painted up because they're already built and set up, and they look much nicer, because the Stormcast Eternals was the original models that I built, and they are not built well. They are built bad. I don't think I have any of them down here, or I would show that, but I didn't cut off the flash. I don't know. Like, I don't know at the time what I was thinking, but there's like huge hunks of like where the sprue should be connecting, and I remember at the time thinking, why is this not connecting? And now I'm looking back at it and I was like, how did I not realize why this was not connecting? And unfortunately, even though it was the Soul Wars box, I was kind of, I guess not necessarily encouraged, but like that's how I was told you built models, was with glue. So even though they could just be push fit, they are all super glued and therefore never coming apart. So that's always fun. I'm going to see if I can't, I don't know, maybe green stuff, or just accept that those models are just never going to look as good as everybody else, which is fine. Otherwise, I have most of my Seraphon, well, most of my Thunder Lizards. When I run my Thunder Lizards list, I just want to run Stegatron. Which, I guess if you have not seen my most recent video, well, this is my most recent video, but my next battle report, Age of Sigmar 3.0, is going to be Seraphon for the first time on the channel. And it will be versus Orruk warclans. And it takes not all of the Cruel Boy models, but it adds some of them into just a big wall list. Other than that, I think we're probably going to wait until the books drop before I go all in on either Stormcast or Cruel Boys. I am going to try and get enough of a Cruel Boys list that I can at least do 50%, probably a third, because my brother really likes playing them and he loves Bone Splitters. They're his hands down favorite part of the whole faction. But even standalone, I think that the Cruel Boys will be entertaining as a faction, and their models are just like their base unit, just the Gut Rippers, are just kind of like, I'm an orc. Like they feel more like Lord of the Rings orcs, but they're still just like, this is the basic orc. But then again, you have like this guy, or even the wizard with his skull cloak. Like they feel cooler like than the base unit, and well, they should be their heroes. But I'm also really looking forward to the new monsters, the swamp troll thing. That's kind of weird and creepy, and it's just such a cool vibe. I really hope that there's some way to make them battle line in the new book. I don't think there will be, just because big units like that, I feel, is not how they intend on running Orruk warclans in general. But right now, the only battle line is the Gut Rippers, and that seems a waste. So maybe they will bring up some other battle line. I'd love the Slithers to be battle line, just because I have seen people say that they're not going to be good, and I don't think they're going to be amazing competitively. But just having them run around the table throwing their little 8-inch bombs is just so fun. Just being able to get into and around things. They're pretty fast. I don't know. I think they fit in a little place that the Orruk warclans hasn't had yet. The same kind of thing with the big crossbow guys, is they have actual ranged units now, and so I really look forward to seeing more of what that line can make. I hope that this is not the final group of models for the Cruel Boys. I really hope for some more, I don't know, some more spread, because right now it's a lot of hero heavy. Like you have the Gut Rippers, the crossbows, and then the Slitters, and then some of the newer models. But I don't know, I feel like they could spread out. I think that's one of my big problems, and one of the reasons I haven't played Stormcast before is just because they're so hero heavy. Now, I would love to have every Stormcast hero. They all just look cool. There are a few that I'm like, I'll get those last, but even then they still look cool, and I would love to paint them up. Right now I'm just doing a very simple blue and gold scheme. I call them my scouts. For those of you who had ever done a blue and gold, you know what I'm talking about. But like I really like that little scheme. Just light blue pauldrons. All of the capes and stuff are going to be blue. And I really like how that's turning out, and so I'll probably do that for all of my Stormcast. Just do very simple two-tone paint schemes, just because it's easy and I think it looks good. And I feel like it's thematic. Like, I understand that, Sigmar's kind of a show-off and all of his soldiers have to look perfect. But I feel like it's kind of weird that they're taking so much time and here's this intricate blue-gold finish here, and we're going to paint all your armor. Whereas it's pretty simple to just be like, all right, you guys are in this unit, blue, blue, 2 stripes, get out there and go kill something, and we'll see you tomorrow. Like, I don't know, maybe he could double his output if everyone was just in plain gold, with just like a little mark across their forehead of like red, blue, white. Not as fun for us to paint, but I feel like it's more I don't know, more functional, then I don't know, maybe the armor just pops out. I haven't finished Soul Wars, which is as far as I've gotten into any of the Age of Sigmar books. That kind of explains the process, and so maybe it mentions somewhere in there how the armor comes out specifically. Like, do they just get shot out in their group's colors? Like, your hammer's a Sigmar because you just happen to come out that color, or your hammer's a Sigmar is the only one I can remember. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I haven't touched that book since I got it at the start of 2nd edition. So there's always that. Otherwise, really looking forward to some upcoming games. Really hoping that you all enjoy the next battle report of warclans versus Seraphon. It is a Stegatron list, and 2 of my models are unbased because they haven't gotten their bases yet. I haven't found bases for them, and I say found, I haven't gotten around to buying them. My bases are various colors. Eventually, I'll get them all. Like, my hope and goal is to better my production value and then also better my skills in generating my content. Like, I believe in the black base, but I also believe that, like, I believe in the black base. Like, some of my bases I have sprayed just kind of haphazardly, and they've just turned out to be whatever color I sprayed the model. And I would like to paint them back into black. I think a black base fits anything. Like, you take a black base into a swamp. Oh, look, this is a guy in a swamp. You take a black base into a desert. It's this guy's in the desert. City, whatever. A black base just says, I'm here. Or at least that's my opinion. Feel free to disagree. But otherwise, really hoping for some new kits, some new models of not necessarily new units, but updated models, I should say. I'd love for the Seraphon, Beasts of Chaos, all those kind of things to get the same kind of treatment as the Chaos Warriors. And not necessarily everyone. I don't need skinks to be super individualized. I'm fine with the big bulky units, but like Saurus Guard, I think they would look really cool if they really Age of Sigmar'd some of these units. Just adding to it. And Spider Riders, the goblins, the Spider Fang, I would love to see them to have some new, like, just seeing what they have done with some of this stuff, just the ideas that they could do. Like, imagine a Ragnarok coming down a cliff, or like, oh, a new legendary Spider Fang Lord, or, you know, just like, I really enjoy the models, but they made new models that look really good, and then a lot of the old models just left alone. I would also love new weapon teams for the Skaven, preferably cheaper kits, or, you know, kits that you can find that still exist. I would love to have some Jezzails, and I can't find any for a price I'm willing to pay for the models that I can get. It's kind of sad. Whereas if I got updated models, or maybe, I don't know, I've thought about kit bashing some, but that would mean that I'd have to get, I'm thinking of getting some free guild handgunners. And maybe I'll do that. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, working on, really enjoying in Age of Sigmar 3.0. I have 2 or 3 games under my belt now, and it is very interesting. I'm really enjoying it, loving the new rules, but hopefully, you know, as things move forward, the game keeps getting the support that it deserves. And that's going to be it for me. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what you think and what you're looking forward to. And this has been Age of